In today's modern world, China is a role model of development to the entire globe. In the economic, military, and technology sectors, the country has achieved unprecedented success in less than 100 years. Yet, at the beginning of the last century, China's condition was like that of the underdeveloped countries of Africa. The man whose contribution is greatest behind this enviable progress is the first head of state of the People's Republic of China, Mao Zedong. He occupies the place of a great hero in the pages of history. However, calling Mao Zedong just a great hero would probably not be the whole truth. Because alongside Mao Zedong's thousands of good deeds, there are many criticized deeds as well. Due to his oppression and persecution of people with opposing ideologies, many call him a notorious villain of history. In today's episode, we will know about the revolutionary life of Mao Zedong. In 1893, Mao Zedong was born into a noble peasant family in Hunan province, China. At the time Mao Zedong was born, it was the rule of the Qing dynasty in China. Common people had no rights to speak of. Scarcity and poverty were everywhere. The whole country was passing through a dire situation. In that aspect, of course, Mao Zedong's family was an exception. They had been farming on 3 acres of ancestral land for several generations. So, Mao Zedong did not feel the severity of want in his childhood. Therefore, there was no problem continuing his studies either. At 8 years old, he was admitted to a local school. At 13 years old, he left his studies and got to work with his father. Because back then, knowing just a bit of calculation was considered enough for education. When Mao Zedong turned 14, a funny incident occurred. His father fixed a marriage for Mao Zedong with a 20-year-old girl. But Mao would not agree to the marriage at all. Rather, he wanted to study more. Finally, the father was defeated by the son's stubbornness. The marriage didn't happen. After this, Mao Zedong went to Changsha City, the capital of Hunan province. It was mainly after going to Changsha that a radical change came into young Mao Zedong's life. When Mao Zedong was 18, he joined the anti-Qing monarchy revolution. In 1911, the Kuomintang Nationalist Party started a movement to bring down China's royal rule. The freedom-loving Mao Zedong also actively participated in that movement. Within just 1 year, the monarchy fell. The Kuomintang Nationalist Party came to state power. They established the Republic of China. Its head became the Nationalist Party leader, Sun Yat-sen. Common people, getting freedom from the Qing dynasty rule after almost 250 years, seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. However, the oppressed people's dream remained just a dream. Because even though the monarchy fell, ownership of most of the country's land remained in the hands of that aristocratic class. So no change came to the fate of the lower-class people. Again, the Nationalist Party's political ideology was like those old autocratic kings. They were also skilled in corruption and irregularities. These matters pained Mao Zedong greatly. He could not accept seeing the dreams with which he joined the revolution turn to dust before his eyes. In 1918, Mao Zedong finished his studies. The same year, his mother died. So he didn't go back home. He went to Beijing in search of a job. There, he even got a job as an assistant librarian. Along with the job, studying various subjects began. At that time, Mao Zedong read Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto. Again, at that very time, the successful Russian Revolution had happened in Russia under Lenin's leadership, which greatly influenced Mao Zedong, because the condition of Russia and China was quite similar. Just as the Petrograd Soviet came to power by toppling the Tsar rule in Russia, similarly in China, the Nationalist Party came to power by abolishing the Qing monarchy. The only difference was that later the Communists defeated the Petrograd Soviet too. And meanwhile in China, the Communists hadn't organized yet. So Mao Zedong was hopeful that in China, too, the Communists could come to power by defeating the Nationalist Party. 1921, China's Communists decided to organize this time. The Chinese Communist Party, briefly CCP, was formed. Mao Zedong joined the CCP as a founding member and started working quite actively. Nationalist Party chief Sun Yat-sen saw that communists could become a threat at any time. How the Petrograd Soviets were defeated in Russia is unknown to no one. So Sun Yat-sen made a compromise with the communists in 1923. Mao Zedong was rather happy about this, but slowly the conflict between nationalists and communists began to come out in the open. Especially after Sun Yat-sen's death in 1925, Chiang Kai-shek became the head of the Kuomintang Party. In 1927, Chiang Kai-shek closed all paths of compromise with the communists. He started arrests and even extrajudicial killings. Mao Zedong tried to build resistance against Kai-shek. But being easily defeated by the nationalists, Mao Zedong fled to Jiangxi province. Jiangxi was the safest place for communists because the people there supported them. So going there, Mao Zedong established the Soviet Republic of China in their own way. After that, with everyone's help, a guerrilla army was quickly formed. Along with that, harsh punishments like the death penalty were determined for those disobeying party laws. Around 1934, Mao Zedong took control of various regions of Jiangxi province into his own hands. And at this, Chiang Kai-shek got very angry. He surrounded Jiangxi province with a well-equipped force of almost 1 million. At this time, many leaders of the Communist Party wanted to enter a final fight against the Kuomintang government. But Mao Zedong said, retreating at this moment would be the wise work. Truth be told, if the Communists went to fight the Kuomintang forces that day, their ideological movement would have been buried there. Before Chiang Kai-shek's army, the Communists were very negligible in number. Again, the Communists did not have modern weapons. So Mao Zedong's decision to retreat was final. In the midst of this, in 1937, another crisis appeared in China. Japan's imperial army attacked China. Then there were two battlefields before Chiang Kai-shek. On one side, the Japanese army. On the other side, Mao Zedong's communist force. So, being compelled, Chiang Kai-shek came to a compromise again with the communists, so that the Japanese could be resisted together. Mao Zedong did not object. When it was a question of the country, he rather jumped in first against the Japanese. At that time, the Nationalist Party handed over all state-of-the-art military equipment to the Communists. As a result, the Communists continued fighting heroically against the Japanese. In 1945, the combined forces defeated Japan, and the Communists emerged as an even stronger party than the Kuomintang. This time, Mao Zedong directly stated that they would no longer stay under the Nationalist Party. By this, the Nationalist Party was also not in a strong position like before. Nor did they have public support, because the Communists fought so heroically against Japan that their popularity touched the sky. Although superpowers like America gave the opinion to form a coalition government in China, the Communists did not agree to accept that. As a result, civil war began. The Nationalists could not even stand before the Communists. Afterwards, in 1949, the Kuomintang Party was defeated finally. On October 1st, standing at Beijing's Tiananmen Square, Mao Zedong announced the People's Republic of China. From then on, communist rule began in China, and the Nationalist Party leaders fled to Taiwan Island. There they established the Republic of China. After defeating Japan in 1945, until the Communist Party came to power, a bloody battle went on between the two parties for a long time. After that, when Mao Zedong came to power, he first took away all land from aristocratic landowners and distributed it among ordinary farmers. And in doing this work, countless people of China's aristocratic class lost their lives. As a result, the great Mao Zedong faced criticism within his own party. Even his power and influence decreased within the party. At that time, he was head of state only in name. The real power was in the hands of another leader of his party, Liu Shaoqi. However, Mao Zedong knew very well how to come back. Around 1966, when the failure of the Great Leap Forward had fallen somewhat into the background, Mao Zedong became attentive to spreading his influence again. He formed the Red Force, Red Guards, with the young generation of the country. This force was completely loyal to Mao Zedong. Just as he wanted to build a country based completely on leftist ideology, by breaking all old customs, everyone in the Red Force was exactly like that. With the Red Force, Mao Zedong started the Cultural Revolution again. But behind this was another motive. In the name of the Cultural Revolution, the Red Force destroyed countless places of worship in the country, beat teachers and intellectuals, and burned countless ancient artworks and old structures. Along with that, understanding the opportunity, Mao Zedong punished the centrist communists inside the party. Until Mao Zedong's death in 1976, this great hero or villain of history survived as China's most powerful person in this way.